Okay, so you're telling me like if it's cool, you say, "Oh, that's on." You don't say, "Hey, that's cool." You say, "That's on fleek."
On fleek.
Fleek,
Yes, that's the thing.
like
I don't know how
FLEE.
to spell it. Maybe there's.
Like nobody knows how to spell it.
Hold
It's
on, let me.
elusive.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
the
know.
club that no one can get into. That's why it's so cool.
We can't get into it. We're dads. On
It's like,
fleek.
but we're not. You're just edging into the. Like, I don't know. Did you hear this from your kid? Like, I can't imagine like you're.
A friend at work has like an 8-year-old, so it's coming. It's 2, 3 years out.
God, it's just like,
Yeah,
man, there's way too soon to like not know the terms. Although, like, there's plenty of stuff. Like already, I'd never really got into social media too deeply. Like I understood, like I knew Twitter, I was on it, I know how to do it, Facebook, blah blah blah. But I even own Snapchat, Instagram, all
right.
of them. But with Snapchat, for instance, like I just don't get it. Like as far as like I don't use it, I'm like, all right, like I
Yeah,
understand the concept of this.
right.
I just don't have people that I know that use it. Nobody sends me things that I don't send. But when you hear somebody who's into it talk about it, it's on fleek. Like it's amazing.
See, this is the problem. I never thought I'd use urbandictionary.com, but I have used it for that.
Like it's gonna end up being like a dad app where
It's
it's
dead. Oh, good idea.
right. It's just this is now what you get a bunch of cool kids to feed into it somehow, and you
Right.
got to be real careful because like otherwise they're just gonna mess with dads.
Got to be like trending topics, right? But it explains them. It just doesn't
Yeah, so
say
you,
them.
as a dad, like you're like, wait a minute, I know what that means.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Kids are speaking a different language.
So the the adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about gaming, fatherhood, and new fathers trying to figure out their gaming lives. I'm Trevor, and I have a 9 month old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 5-year-old and almost 3-year-old.
Say that in months.
God, can't do it. Can't do
Good.
it. Let's hold on to
Uh,
that.
yeah. So for listeners, you'll notice a pretty significant jump in my kid's age since I last said it. I don't. I think last time I
You
think was
discovered time travel. Don't worry about it.
yeah, seven. It was. I think I said 7 or 8 last time. I don't know. We took a bit of a hiatus. Jeff and Gavin were able to throw together a great episode in between, but we had to suspend things a little bit. Uh, we've discussed how to exactly handle this. So my wife unfortunately was diagnosed with a very severe case of postpartum depression, and I had to for a time drop everything and assist with a home. I'm very happy to report the things in the house have gotten much more stable, and we've really worked through it. So that has been an absolute blessing, and everyone around us has been fantastic. The system has been great for it, but unfortunately, it just did not leave enough time to be able to do this type of podcasting. It was some of the and unfortunately, it is quite dark, so much of it. So the thought that I'd be going through my family would be going through such dark stuff during the day, and then at night I get on here and I'm gumming it up about Super Mario or something. It didn't quite feel right.
No.
It'd be more facade than anything. I think it'd leak through.
Yeah.
Um, but the new dads here discussed it. I think it's really important. I would really like to discuss my story and my family story, and especially from a dad's perspective of seeing your partner. And men can be afflicted by it, but I think it's about 10% of men as opposed to women. Some of the stats we saw, it's either 1 in 5 or 1 in 10 women will go through some sort of postpartum depression.
Well,
So that means a lot of partners will have to go through it. So we would like to address this. I would like to tell the story and kind of tell how we came about it, so that anyone can find some solace, find some knowledge. Any things that we did that worked well, you can go through too. However, it wasn't we don't feel it's quite on par with this show. So very shortly from our channel, you'll see a special episode come out about it, and we'll address it in full. But also suffice to say, the family's doing great. Everything has gone on, and thanks to everybody around us, and thanks for patience, and still a new dad, and still trying to game, and excited to get back on the horse. What did you? I did not
yes.
get a chance to listen to what you and Gavin talked about, and there's some part
Oh,
of me that imagined it was either there's I had a couple worries, and one is it is the best episode ever, and and accordingly, like we determined what the problem is, namely myself. It's just like
Oh, you didn't watch it? You mean you didn't watch it?
I
I
have
just
not
bought
watched it yet.
Fallout. I bought Fallout, and no, I didn't. We
Or
discussed your Fallout tendencies.
or is the worst, or you guys got like in a fight. It was just this
Yeah,
like just like descent into madness. But
Black Spring.
yeah, but no, thanks for taking the mantle. And here we are. And again, there's only two of us. This is not
Oh,
necessarily a trend, but Gavin is knee deep in building games, which is still amazing. He actually
awesome.
had this is another game because he had one released, did he not?
Yeah. Was it Away with You? I think that was called. I'm not sure.
Oh,
Sorry, Gavin. But yeah, he just released one. And now he's working on, I think, his own bag.
yeah, another
Like
one.
retro games.
Yeah, that's
It's kind of cool.
yeah. I saw some of it. If you follow Gavin on Twitter, which we'll put up that on the website, we'll also put some links to the game. Yeah, I think it's Away with You. It is about a it's great, kind of retro, slightly retrographic. It's a bit of a click adventure, I
Hmm.
believe, and it's about a interaction between a space astronaut and a AI component. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but the reason I knew about it is because I saw a bunch of coverage about it, like
Yeah,
on
yeah,
gaming websites I go to all the time, and it's just like,
right.
dude, it's a new dad, and he's
I
on like,
know. Holding out on us.
hey, what is this? All these skills. What have
But
we
it
done with
reminds
our
me,
lives?
it reminds me, yeah, it reminds me of those old LucasArts like pixel art games where you click and drag around like Full Throttle and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, very
See
cool, man. That
what
was
dads
it's
out there.
exciting to see, but we're hoping to get Gavin back on. He is just absolutely cranked with his stuff, but it's exciting, obviously, to see. Um, Man, an actual new dad. It's enough just for us trying to play it, but what's it like as a dad to try to build a game? That is
I know, right?
that, that is, yeah, yeah. So Jeff, what have you been playing recently? Well,
Um,
sorry, I believe the format actually goes: how is fatherhood and how is gaming?
Fatherhood is okay. We're coming up on my son's third birthday, so we're busy planning that. It has been birthday bonanza at school. So my kid that's 5, turning 6, he's in SK, so senior kindergarten, and he his whole class just birthday after birthday after birthday through
Sorry,
January,
sorry, back it up one
February.
second. Senior kindergarten.
Senior kindergarten. Did
So
you
I remember there's so
do
I went to
Daycare?
junior kindergarten, which is
Yeah,
glorified babysitting.
I didn't as a kid.
Okay, and then there's kindergarten.
Right. That's SK.
Okay,
So junior, senior, right? That makes sense.
why do does that make them feel better about themselves because now you're a
Not
senior? Like
really. No, because it's like a split class. Like, so you're not even in like entirely with your own age group. You're just
hmm.
you're shifted up, and there's other kids that are 4
See, for us it
with
was like
5.
we junior kindergarten was held in the basement of a church somewhere. Like it really was like glorified babysitting, and then
Right.
kindergarten was just in a formal school. So you're saying that
Yeah.
in this case they put it all together?
Yeah. So it's all together. And like, as I said, I never went to JK, but my brother did, who's 3 years younger. So he got suckered into JK. I just went to preschool, which again was at offsite, probably in a home, and then went to school. So anyway, once you do get in school, you meet a lot of kids, and he's made friends with basically everyone, which is great socially. Financially, different story. Uh,
Yeah.
just means a lot of weekends and a lot of birthdays.
Just you just have to buy Paw Patrol dolls like en masse.
Oh man, well, the trend is like hit and miss. It's hot and cold. Like one kid doesn't like Paw Patrol, he likes Transformers, and Pokemon's out now. Pokemon's big again.
Hmm.
So it's anyway, through all that stuff, uh it's been a lot of birthday months, and he's not quite old enough to just kind of drop off at those places and run. So you kind of have to stay, or my wife will stay with him at a play place or something where the kids just run around and go bananas.
Hmm.
But when he gets a little bit older and you can kind of drop him and run, it'd be the best thing ever.
Just throw them over the
Yeah,
fence and like take off.
yeah. Go home and even sleep in the car. I don't know, have a nap somewhere.
Oh,
Be
nice.
great.
Living the dream. Yeah, that's like man, what a burden. Because now God, like to have to go to a kid's birthday, like a 3-year-old's birthday party.
Well, and you have to make friends. So it's
Yeah,
like
you got
if
to
you
be like,
don't know
not,
them, right?
now I have to be sociable. Like that's hard
Right.
enough for me to do it.
Exactly.
Like if you have a birthday party, that's enough of a burden as it
Right.
is. But
So,
now it's like this kid's birthday party
right.
because it feels like at least like so you have a birthday party and we're friends and we have been for a long time. Chances are I would at least be able to socially understand
Right.
the people that you would invite to your
Yes.
birthday party.
Yeah.
But the kids, man, that's a wild west. Like you have no idea what their parents are like.
Exactly. And it's really you're just, pouring yourself a glass of, apple juice and standing out trying to like cheers people to be like, so how's that weather? There's,
Wow.
and it,
And you have to
some,
because like you're there for what, like three?
well, 2, 3 hours.
Oh
So
God.
it can be very awkward, or you can, swallow it and try and make some friends. But it's kind of like you're stepping into high school or something, and you have to kind of figure out people's interests and whether or not you're going to like them or not. Maybe you like the kid, but you don't like the parents. See, that all
Oh,
comes into play.
or vice versa. Like the parents are
Or
super
vice
cool, but their
versa.
kid's a dick. It's like, oh,
Exactly.
I don't want this kid
Exactly.
around my house.
Yeah. So it's been interesting. So we'll get into that. Not so soon, but soon enough. Gaming wise, I bought Battlefront
Nice.
on
Wait,
sale.
Star Wars Battlefront?
Star Wars Battlefront bought it on
Wow, you
sale.
got in. How about that?
So
Wait, which
tons of
system?
fun. PS4.
PS. Ah,
So they had, I know, but I think you can play. Can you play PC? Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Probably not. But it was on a flash sale, so I bought it, and another buddy had it. So it is a ton of fun. I can see where it's kind of lacking in content, but holy graphics! Like
Oh,
just
it's unbelievable. Huh? And
graphics on that thing.
as a designer, the menu system,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that. I've never seen a more beautifully designed menu system with stark whites,
Yep.
the randomized item in the background that just like shifts around, but the color and the focusing,
It's amazing. It's actually really well done, right? And I'm kind of, sad that they didn't include so much other content. Like they just kind of left it. Like it's all DLC based, which, whatever. But
mm,
great, great game. Easy to pick up and play. So I've been doing that with Witcher, still on Witcher,
mm.
and trying to go through that. I don't know how many hours I put in. Well, they're okay. You're an RPG guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, number one thing that kind of pisses me off is that it doesn't have an in-game counter. It's just like how much time you spent in it. Um, but I Googled it, and apparently it does, but it counts the rest time, the PS4, when it sleeps. So according to it, I've been playing it for 24 days, which is not
You're
possible as a
breaking like
dad.
you're breaking records and just like
Yeah. Like, I have kids. I am not playing it for 24 days. So, and I just can't. I hate that. I'm like, I knew my Final Fantasy VII time like off by heart, and I like to see the amount of like effort I put into a game. So, but anyway, game's great. Battlefront's great to get into, but I think I've kind of stuck to those two games in terms a lot of other stuff happening in the gaming community, but we can get to that
yeah.
later.
Have you kept
But
up with Rocket League? Because I know that they released a bunch of DLC. I don't know if they actually released the hockey mode.
they did. They have a March Madness one, the hoops, the basketball one.
And are you playing though?
Um,
Are you playing at all?
I haven't picked up that kind of void was filled with the Battlefront. So I haven't got back into it, but they're going to do like custom arenas and stuff, and uh, seems like I would. I don't know. I just haven't gone back to it,
Yeah.
but no, I'd still play it. I still kept it on the hard drive. We'll see.
Yeah. So I was like, I found the Battlefront thing is interesting. Actually, we can dive in that for a second because I've been playing that a bunch too.
Yeah.
Except I'm on PC, and for a long time I was using a controller to do so. And
Right.
I mentioned previously on the show like I had terrible connection issues where for like first like couple weeks I just couldn't connect to a game. It's like trying to find a lobby that's full. Okay, 50% full. Okay, 10% full. And then next thing you know, my name is on two empty lists, and it's like, all right, any minute now, someone's gonna show up and play with you. And
Please.
and they didn't. So I couldn't play it. That seems to have corrected, I think, a little bit. See, the problem is I'm playing with a bunch of people where they're level 50 to 60. Like
Oh yeah.
I'm like 8.
Yeah.
So they're strolling up and just like one shot, and then they're doing these like crazy ass jump moves where, like, as a character, like I'm watching them just. I'm not even shooting at them. I'm just watching them go around. Like, what are you doing? What is this witchcraft that you? And then I'm getting through. So I was doing horrifically. I don't. I don't. PSA. I don't expect to be good at this. Right? Like I'm not good at these games. That's not why I play them. I'm not trying to be the top of the list. I don't. That's not where I get my enjoyment. It's just every now and then you connect, you kill a couple guys, you get killed more often than not. Fine, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
But I was going through these matches, and it was like I had one where I died 24 times, and I didn't kill a single guy, not one person. It was, it, and like, but some of the guys on there were getting like 60 kills, like 4 deaths. So
Right.
I imagine. So what it was hurtful, painful was that it was like 50, level 50, level 40, 10, 10, 10, and then me like level 2. And it's just and you're just cannon fodder, like worse than cannon fodder. And so a couple things happened. So I read that you are on PC, and anybody with a mouse and keyboard has a terrible advantage
Yeah.
against you, as opposed to a controller. Like it's just the nature of the game, especially when you're playing against other PC guys. So
Right.
switch. That actually worked. Like I've
Okay.
gone through a couple games now, and I actually had a more kills than deaths. Massive
Yay.
accomplishment. Yeah, first time. I'm talking
That
like
game
8 to
moment.
7, so not a lot. It still counts. But even still, like the other thing that I saw is if you playing it on a console in many ways is a whole different kind of a different experience because it's a different type of player.
Right.
It's almost like somebody who has played the Battlefront game on PC for years would come into this and feel at home and just wreck shop, as
Yeah.
opposed to somebody with a 14-year-old with a PS4 picks it up, has a controller, and just having a great time. So you're able to kind of just. It feels as though a community that would be more in line with the way I play and even with my skill set per se
Yeah.
would be on console versus PC.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, for one, it's all level playing field with the controller, right? So
Yeah.
nobody can have the mouse. But I do think the player pool is also way larger on console versus PC, and maybe that is just better at matchmaking people. What I don't like though is if you do get your butt kicked from the other team, like they're just way too good. The next game will start and it will just have the same teams. So it doesn't shuffle anybody. It just kind of continues. And you're like, well, now you got to stop, get out. And you kind of feel like, well, no, I'm going to try and redeem myself. And then you just end up, spending another 20 minutes getting killed.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
when you,
That gives me a bit of hope though, because like I also get that same experience. Like you'll get into some games, and again, I've never won, never been at the top of the list. I don't expect to, and I've even been at the bottom of the list, but felt like I had a good game, like I enjoyed it,
yeah,
because you killed some guys, or at least like you. But I've
killed
even
some
gone.
people,
I've honestly gone through a couple games where I didn't kill anybody, but I felt still fine about it. Like it
part of
was
the
still
team.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I maybe was able to pick up something, or like I helped with somebody. It's just a massive difference as opposed to spawn, walk, dead. Like
Yeah.
spawn, walk, dead, and just you have no chance. As opposed to spawn, jump, dead. Big difference.
Yeah, like I've had my good games where I've been at the top of the list and like killed everybody,
Wow.
but am I facing people that are, level 2 characters? Like I don't know. Like the only way I can tell is if they have a different character skin, right? Or if they have usually like the black stormtroopers like level 50 or whatever. So if I kill those, I feel really good about myself, even if it's just one kill and it's just that dude.
Nice.
He knows that he got wasted by level 2 level 3 guy. So it's still fun, and it's you're in this Star Wars universe. And one whole session, I will admit, I just stared at the background
Mm.
settings, like, the super star destroyers fighting and stuff.
Oh,
I'm like,
it's
I am not helping my team right now, but
it
it's
is
so
it is
awesome.
beautiful. It is fun. It's really borderline unbelievable what they've done. Like the visuals, like it's just so.
It's
I've
well
never
put
played a game
together.
that I've been this
Everything,
impressed with. I've played some great looking games, but I don't think I've ever played something that's been so impressive. Like, and this isn't just about turning up the settings. Like all things considered, I have a mid tier PC.
hmm
So, but even with this, like you're just looking at how they've put this together, and it's just like, and just the feeling, like you feel like having watched Star Wars movies. It's like, man, they got it. Like these people,
Yeah,
I think, love the movies. They just seem to have it.
yeah. They
But
captured the feeling, the aesthetic, right? Like everything is part of that universe. So it's fun.
I think so. I think I think one of the tricks was like I've had a number of matches where it's just lousy, and I think I've been a masochist where 20 deaths, 0 kills, and then I play the same group, and it's not going to get better.
No.
So when that happens, I think I have to just leave and find another group because like it's an exercise in futility. And
And
that,
well, I've had my kid play for me too. Like my 5-year-old, he just wanted to play with the lasers because he knows about Star Wars.
of course,
And I'm like, oh, that's fun, and I'm kind of biting my teeth, just like, oh, you're hurting my kill death ratio so
you're ruining
Oh
my
my
character, kid.
God.
You're embarrassing me, kid. Come on.
Yeah. Why are you staring up and running in circles? Oh no.
Oh,
Back to
that's a
group.
riot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So on my side, so obviously there's been the battlefield. So again, I just decided on a whim to try it again to see if they solve the server issues because a lot of the online forums said, "Oh, you just have to go into your router and change settings," and it was like,
No.
"No, like I'm not. That's that's your problem. You will solve this, or I'm not playing the game."
Yeah.
Forget. Like I don't have that time. So that'd been great. I got into. I've been playing a bunch of Elite Dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Uh, just love it. Just such a great feeling space sim. I've gotten to a place now where I felt like I'm kind of comfortable with the progress, and I don't know that I care to dive in for a little bit, for a little while.
Did you get the expansion? Did they release that yet? Did
Yeah,
you
I
get the
ended up getting it because
full-fledged?
the
Yeah.
yeah, it's something about being able to like actually just go onto the planet,
Right.
and it's funny. It's funny because I think in many ways they don't do a great job of explaining how to enjoy this game, which is it's a weird segment. I don't even know how you would necessarily approach it, but people are. It's like, oh, where's the stuff? Like I just have to grind and I have to get the bigger ship and like, what am I gonna go? I had a friend I worked with and he was playing it. He's like, geez, I'm just grinding because I want the better ship,
Right.
and it's not that much fun. I don't know what to do, and I had to stop him and I asked him like, when you get the bigger ship, like, what are you gonna do? Like, what
Right.
in-game act? There's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
special missions for the big ship. It's just the bigger ship.
Right.
Like you're gonna do the same stuff. So like you need to stop and just enjoy the sim. Like you're in space. Like you can land on planets. You can from space as you're flying past a planet. You can see a crater and then you can land and you can just zip about and like jump
Right.
all through that crater that you saw from space.
Yeah.
And then you hop over and you like buy up a new cheaper ship and you like zip around. Like some of the funnest stuff that I heard is that you buy the cheapest ship in the game and you go onto the planets and you just zip around the canyons. So
Okay.
because there's a bunch of huge crags and think like things bigger than the Grand Canyon.
Right.
So you take your little cost nothing ship and you just like zip around full speed in the canyon trying not to ram into walls. And you just again like it's about enjoying the sim.
Right.
And that's what I've actually done. They had a community goal. Like I've never been one. I kind of missed the arc on massive multiplayer online MMOs. But they do have these community goals where the entire universe of games can just participate. So it's you and every player you're trying to. It's either kill the pirates in the system or transfer this cargo to this place or blah blah blah, whatever it wants to be, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, participate in that. There's just an absolute ton of players. Like it really changed the game because all of a sudden there's like 100 players in the same instance of you, and there's a couple like pirates trying to take you down. You're zipping about. So that was great. But with that one and with even Battlefront, I always get the nagging feeling that like it's not there's no purpose to it. Like there's
Right.
no you're not going to finish this game. Like it's not.
No, 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 you're not.
There's no end. So you're just kind of just spending hours, but they're enjoyable hours. So it goes back and forth. But so Battlefront, been playing Elite Dangerous, had an absolute blast with it. I tried to play Grim Fandango.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Did
remaster.
you play it?
I played like a bit of the remastered version, but as a kid, I played the original version, I guess. It's hard. Like
Yeah.
you get into puzzles where you're like, I don't know what to do, and it's not hand holding you at all, right? Like you just need to figure out
Yeah, I
what the
think
puzzle is by clicking around.
so. I've always revered this game despite never playing it. Like I'd read everything around it.
Right.
Tim Schafer, the studio. I'd seen people talk about it, so I'd always had this like big respect for it without ever never even playing it.
Yeah.
And it came up on sale and finally decided to do it. And I'm
Yeah.
playing it now, and it's just
You let
it's
down? Is that what you're saying? Or you
oh,
let
it's incredible, but I just don't have time for this nonsense.
No, no, no.
It's because it's you need to go into the third floor and grab the blue balloon and then go down to the first floor and mix it with this side and then take that balloon and throw it at the pigeon. And it's one of
I
those
was
things
gonna
where like
mention that puzzle. I was gonna mention that puzzle because it's not based on logic, right? Like it's just okay.
yeah, and it's
I'm
just
in the
it's
game world.
taking stuff and you throw it against other stuff.
Yeah.
And I know I can figure it out. Like I have it in me to beat this game. I just don't have like I have a lot of stuff to do in my life. like there's not a lot of reward to it. If it's a puzzle where like there's a tactile feel to it, like it's a skill and you're able to master it, great. This is just decoding the nonsense
Yeah.
enough to get through something. So I'm on the fence about what to do with it. Like I think I want to experience it in the sense of like going through it, and the dialogue is so snappy and the
Yeah.
voice acting is incredible. The style is beautiful.
I love the art style.
Oh, it's like man, Day of the Dead stuff, like that's
Yeah.
so on point. That's
Yeah.
so cool. So I think what I'm gonna do is just get like the best, like most straightforward guide I can
Yeah.
find and just do it piece by piece so that I can experience it, but I just can't.
There's no harm in that either, right? Like, speaking from the dad perspective, I think that is one game where you look at the clock a lot. Like you'd be like, I could be doing so many other things, and you're already kind of fried, right? So to figure out the game's logic and go through all the puzzles and be more frustrated with it than experiencing it, I think having like the game fact walkthrough or whatever while you're doing it is like that's a good solution versus just dropping it all together
Yeah,
and be done with it because it is a good experience from what I remember as a kid. I don't know what it's going to be like now, but you might just get the end of the game and the credits roll and that's it. I can't remember.
yeah,
So
because just as a dad, it just doesn't compute. It just doesn't work because
no.
it the parallel you would think that would apply would be like cheating, right? Where it's infinite lives or you can't be killed or you
Yeah,
skip to a level. And that's not in the nature of the game. But this one is just you have to just keep banging your head against the wall until the illogical puzzle fits together and it's like, man, I'm not going to get a lot of enjoyment wasting
no.
that time. So I think my plan, I don't know if I'll maybe try it next week, but I'm going to just burn through an FAQ and enjoy and experience it without having to actually play it. I think in many ways, like that's much like well, this is a tough comparison, but like when you talked about Final Fantasy VII, and it was like what the no random battle mode.
Yeah, yeah,
See, now as a guy who's played it, like I've beaten it, like legitimately back on PlayStation,
right.
and I could see myself wanting like just get into the world again, like go to the places, like enjoy the story, see the artwork, and appreciate that again. Like that feels like it'd be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Grinding, like having him just run in circles until he's level 30.
Yeah.
Like I just don't have that kind of time as a dad.
Well,
But
then you,
but for somebody who's never played it before,
yeah, see, that's total cheat because then you're not
right?
experiencing it, right? But if you do want to go back into the world, turn off no encounters, but then you have to activate the other cheat, which is the hit points, because you won't have enough experience
Oh yeah.
to fight the bosses. So you have to activate both. I don't even know why they separate both out.
Yeah, why would you buy?
You might as well
Where's
just
that gonna go? Like,
turn them both on. Um, so yeah, I could totally see that. And I've been playing the retro version. I call it retro version, whatever, like the remastered version, um, on PS4 because I bought it during that sale again. Stupid, but
what is that? Like the sixth time you've bought that
probably
game?
I don't know. I'm almost up to 7 of 7. That should be great.
Nice. Well,
But
save that for the remaster.
all right, exactly. But with that one, it's just it's good to get back into. But I can totally see where like I consulted a guide as a kid just to see, where do you find Yuffie and where do you go for the Condor egg and how do you beat Golden Saucer? And again, it's kind of like that Grim Fandango kind of area where you're like, I just want to get into it, see the story again, see Sephiroth again, and beat the
Yeah.
game without
Yeah, like you
worrying
could,
about
if you had to, like gun to your
grinding.
head, you could figure out how to get a golden chocobo.
You could, yeah, yeah.
But what's
Again,
better
you're not
is
gonna
if you
do
just
it.
read it online.
But this is like from the days of when these games were built where you could lock yourself in a room and game for 6 to 8 hours, sometimes more if you wanted to. Now it's just like I get free time at like 9, 10 o'clock at night and I have to turn things off at, midnight, 1 o'clock. So I'm not
And you're,
gonna
man, 1 o'clock, you're pushing it, man. That's like the
uh well, because you're so wired after that. You're like, I'm tired, but then you get to that state of overtired and you're like, I don't want to go to bed. I'm
so
still
keep.
young again.
So I think, yeah. So I could imagine, like, if you were a parent. So when we were kids, and if our parents were into games, much like we were, like that would have been a really hard time to be a parent, I think, and be a lover of games, because that was a very hard, difficult area, a time of video games. Like they were really relentless. Like it was really the time sink. Like you had to put it in. And it
Right.
feels like now, like so with the stuff we just talked about with Final Fantasy, quote unquote cheats, the quick matches with Rocket League and Battlefront, the Grim Fandango, like the fact that you're able to run through the entire thing, probably with a speed mechanism too. Like it's really catering to, which I don't know if it's necessarily on like we're the target,
Yeah.
like where the industry is so catered to dads. But ultimately, if anything, it's like we can thank like the youth's short attention span that they don't do it because they can't focus on anything. We don't do it because we don't have goddamn time to
Yeah.
spend. So it's
But
this perfect cross. So it's in many ways it's becoming a great time to be a dad for that reason.
it is, but it circles back to your point with what's the space game that you're talking about?
Elite Dangerous.
Elite Dangerous. With some people just not like, what do I do? Like, why do I care to be in this world where it's exploration and maybe that's the wrong genre for that person, but I think everybody is so like Twitch oriented. Like everybody needs their info now. Like the world's fast moving, things are going on. If you're not on trend one day, you're missing out in the conversation the next day. So maybe it's these cheat codes are making it easy on people, and even like some games that um, I think some games that come out now that don't hold your hand are actually more talked about, saying, "Hey, look, there's this classic game that doesn't have these cheat codes or an easy way out." Like I was looking into Divinity Original Sin, which is like a Diablo-esque thing, and it doesn't explain any of where to go or the arrow on the map. Like you have to read and pay attention and go towards that area where those were all the old games. Like there was no internet in our time. Like we had to figure things out or go by the Brady Games guide for
Oh
twenty nine
God,
ninety
remember those
nine and waste your allowance
fucking
on that. So,
thick friggin' things like this?
right.
That was terrible. Hated those things.
I remember getting them, but I never opened them because I wanted like the pristine like image on the front and then with the game.
You're like, so all the answers in the world to my terrible question, but I
Exactly.
don't want to bend it.
Yeah.
The
But
other, yeah, no, that is, yeah, it's funny. It's almost something to be reveled in, like the non-hand holding Super Meat Boy, I was gonna say Binding of Isaac, but not necessarily. I remember like there was something on mobile that came out called Desert Golf.
oh yeah.
I remember if you saying it's so you're talking like Atari graphics, and it would just be somewhat random generated sand world, and you would flick, like based on how much you pulled back your finger, like it flicked the golf ball. But the score was permanent.
Oh, oh,
So how much? So this was just how much over par are you
right.
forever? And it's just like just constant new levels, constant. You could not, unless you
Yes.
deleted the game and your account, you could not reset it. So this there was this, and it's a hard game because like you had to really get the physics right.
Yeah.
So it was relentless, and just like there's this stigma because it's on you for life. That stink of a high score is gonna follow you forever, and that just,
That's
man, that
amazing.
like incensed people.
Yeah, well, that's another interest. It's kind of I remember getting like Demon Souls, and it was like an online constant universe, and like deaths stuck with you, and you couldn't pause and stuff like that. Where that was praised for being, here's another game that's not going to go easy on you, right? And things kind of continue with you. Um, that stuff's just not for me. I don't like that. I like to be able to restart and reboot and save often, and I
Yes.
commend the other people to do it. But again, I don't have the
So
time now, let alone
I'd
the
be of
time.
two minds to it because where if um like if you're constantly building your player and you're at 11 and then you want to go 12 and 12 until like 13, and you're just constantly putting in that time as opposed to the quick shot of something like Rust,
Hmm.
something like what's the zombie one? Something 24 CK H1N1.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think
Well, that's H1N1's a flu. It's
H1Z. I don't know, something like
yeah,
that. I
Z
remember Sony buying it or something,
yeah, Z1 H1Z, something to that
something
effect,
like
like
that.
the
Yeah,
in
whatever. We're
permadeath,
not.
like just,
Yeah,
and it's impeccably hard to live, and then you possibly get like you finally get a gun, and then you're dead, and you're dead forever, and you have to start from scratch.
yeah,
Like I half wonder about like is that like each time it being a venue as a like that's just your story arc as a dad, and it's not necessarily I need to spend 80 hours to play this game. It's like just how long can I go before I have to start from scratch.
yeah.
I wonder if that would like fit. I've never played one of those games. I've never been particularly interested in it. But in this conversation, it almost makes me wonder: is that a good dad game? As far as just like it's you just pushing this one guy far, and there's no, and it's not necessarily just wasted hours like Hearthstone or Battlefront or Elite, where it's just time thrown into
Yeah.
a void game into your account. It's for this guy to move forward until he's dead, and then it's either start from scratch or however we want to go about it. It would be a curious experiment almost between you, me, and Gavin. One of us should try, should
Yeah.
try one of the permadeath ones and
Because
see how come
I
back
could
and report.
I could see something like that where it's kind of like you said, like a story arc to this character, right? Versus building up like say that's why I never liked Destiny. I know Gavin, I think Gavin likes it, but um
Gavin's in the Destiny.
I
Gavin has time
I
for Destiny.
do not like Destiny. The reason I didn't like Destiny is that it felt very old school to me in that you grind, 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 like Elite Dangerous with the guy in wanting the bigger ships. You grind to get the bigger gun, to get the better armor, but you're doing like the same things over and over and over. And if a game like that had permadeath where you're grinding to get this big thing and all of a sudden somebody bigger than you comes along and eats you or kills you or whatever, and then that's it, that's just so much time wasted in my life. But if it was more like a survival,
So
like
I
you're
hope
out in
people
the
are watching
world.
the video because like the look on your face as you say, "I love my
I
life."
There are people that
Just
love Destiny and great, awesome. I know it wasn't for me. Um, I think I downloaded the alpha or the demo, got into the world, and I was like, this is it. Okay, well, it's not my bag, but
well, off I go.
I'll hop out, and those people that want to play it, great, awesome. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tricky. Like I said, I'd be. We should find a dad that's sunk a lot of time into a permadeath rust or, um, man, H1Z1. Maybe
Something like that, right? I can't.
that feels like about it. We'll say that. Let's roll with it. That feels like it'd be about it.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'd be curious to see it. The So a baby story I wanted to talk about
Oh,
is, yeah, like, oh, we got the one of the funny. So we've gotten Adrian, my son, into daycare, which has
good.
been that's been excellent. Like just be able to put him off, and especially with everything we were going through, being able to um, have that kind of assistance with him while we're trying to sort through and find the help that we needed.
Yep.
But one of like the one of the happiest and guiltiest feelings I have is in the morning sometimes when he doesn't nap. Because what would happen is that he'll wake up really early. He wakes up about 5 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
He stays awake for an hour or two and then naps for roughly an hour, and then we take him to daycare. Now, previously, he would, when he's not in daycare, he would nap, and that's kind of the time like you kind of make breakfast, you get things ready for the day, you're starting to move, and if he doesn't nap,
Right.
it's devastating is overstating it, but it hurts because it's just
All
like,
bets are off.
man,
Yeah.
baby, I got stuff to do, man. I got to shower, and you're just up and you're not sleeping, and I
Yeah.
know you need sleep. And sadly, like it also means you're going to be grumpy until your afternoon nap. So it directly impacts me that you're not napping. And now, because there's daycare, some days he'll be like, haha, dad, I'm not napping. And I'm like, I don't care. You're going to daycare then. Just like,
Here you
it's like,
go.
well,
Yep.
it's like literally like a repercussion for his action for a baby that usually there is no repercussions. Like they just do what they want to because they're babies. But now it's like, if you don't sleep, it doesn't matter. It
Right.
just means I take you to daycare earlier. And
Not
one
my
way or the other,
problem.
you're gone. And I do it, and I feel so goddamn guilty. It's like, that is the worst thought. Because it's literally like, I don't care, baby. I'll get rid of you sooner.
Got my own stuff to do.
Yeah, like how miserable a thought. But
Well,
it's so relieving. What it's done is it's taken off of that. It's taken the stress away from whether or not he naps in the morning.
right.
Because that was like, it's that's tense. It's like, are you going to give us the necessary break so we can set up our day like normal humans?
Right.
No, well, nuts. Like whereas
Right.
now it's like, doesn't matter. You either have a nice nap or you go to daycare faster. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Choose your poison, baby. Whatever, however you want to play this.
Well, see, like, yeah, I totally understand that, but your health is obviously going to be better for him. Like, if you're being stressed out, him not sleeping, it's great to, okay, here you go, daycare lady or male, whatever,
Daycare
um,
worker, enjoy.
daycare worker. We've done that to, like, when they get a little bit older and they're, picking up all sorts of germs and whatever. You're kind of snotty today, but here's some children's Advil, and here you
this,
go.
this medication will get you through. I know this gives you 6 hours of relief.
Yep. Yep.
That's just long enough before I have to pick you up again.
It is. It's kind of like it's kind of like a betting system though. Like I'll be at work and the daycare obviously has my phone as an emergency, like me and my wife. But when you do make those moves where you're like you not drug them, but
But
slight, like a
drug
couple
them.
steps. Yeah. Like, not whatever. You drug them and you drop them off and you just kind of you look at your phone all day, you're like, huh, I haven't called. Oh, that's good. All right. Oh, 4 o'clock, I gotta go. We made it. Like
It's happening.
on to tomorrow.
One more day.
Yeah. But
Oh, so-
it's a good relief. You can say that. It's on video. It's out there now.
oh, it's great. It is unbelievable. It's a phenomenal relief. It makes you appreciate them too. Like just because like that feeling of showing up at the daycare and they see you and they like lose their little minds and it's like this is
Yeah.
the most exciting thing ever. You're back. It's like that's such a great feeling.
It's like you have a dog, right?
Yeah,
It's like that
yeah.
unconditional love, right? Like, oh my God. Whereas before it was like, yeah, okay, you feed me. I'm happy to see you, I guess. But
Yeah, drag me around, whatever,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
You got to do it.
That's a good sight.
Oh, I absolutely love it. I think on that, on shirking kid responsibilities and drugging them, I think that's a great time to wrap up New Dad Gaming. Yeah,
You didn't call the police, did you?
I was gonna say, it says super. Yeah, this really is. I don't think that can they admit this in court. All that. So that man, it's all that aside. You can just imagine if you were able to, if our parents had this much access to easy recording of their lives, like the type of
Oh,
stuff you would find out, like what they did. Like I
well,
think I prefer not to know, like what.
no, I wouldn't. Like they barely had car seats back then. I don't know. So I drove my kid in the back of the station wagon today, and we got in an accident. Like I don't know. Like
Yeah,
he's
it's
trying
like, oh,
out.
your crib looks a little bit hard. Let me just pour some asbestos in there and just soften that up for you.
He's being bad. I put him up in the attic. It's not finished. He's just up there rolling around the
Just
insulation.
roll. It's not gonna fall through. He doesn't weigh that much.
Yeah, left him at home and got a pizza. I don't know.
Oh god. So everyone, folks. Anyways, folks, that is New Dad Gaming for this week. If you'd like to get a hold of us, please reach out to us at our website at newdadgaming.com. We do record this weekly. If you have any questions, thoughts, or show ideas, we'd love to hear from it. Otherwise, subscribe on all of the great podcasting services. And until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 9-month-old.
My name's Jeff. I do not drug my kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. Well, not 3-year-old, 2.5, 2 3/4. Don't drug
A
me.
believable statement if I've ever heard one. That's great. All right, Jeff. I'll see you next week.
See ya.
All right.